Welcome, everybody. Today is March 9th, 2021. It is Tuesday. The 87th legislative session is ramping up, about to go in full force. And we are here with you today to talk about the actions you have to take. We want you to just do it. And so joining me today is Antoinette Perez, a part of the Indivisible Text Ledge lead organizers. Antoinette, what do you got for us today?
We have so much today. Alex and I just watched the Shia LaBeouf Just Do It motivational video going into this because we are starting to look at the videos that we create around taking action just a little bit differently. In the past, we have started to see a pattern where we have a weekly newsletter that comes out, and then on Monday or Tuesday, Alex would do a really thorough unpacking of the newsletter, step by step, bit by bit, deep dive. And because the legislative session changes in content and in pace, one of the changes that is happening right now as we reach the end of the bill filing period is that all of the bills that are going to become laws are going to start making it through that sausage machine. And the next step is a flurry of hearings around these bills. And so everyday citizen engagement is reaching an all-time high in terms of need. And we really want to focus on encouraging every Texan to exercise their role in the government and making sure that they're taking the actions that they need to take. So you'll notice that my virtual background, for those of you that play Animal Crossing, you're going to recognize this is Isabel's desk, where every single morning she makes a very quick and simple announcement about the day and what to expect. And many days she doesn't have an announcement, but at Indivisible Texas Ledge during session, we will probably have a call to action every single weekday through the end of session, and maybe sometimes on the weekend as well. And so to that end, we're looking at revamping these videos to where they will be a little bit more bite-sized. They will only focus on one action to take. And we're going to show you just how easy and quick it is to be able to make the call that you need to make to help our government function better for all Texans again. So Alex, we had some prep discussion. I wonder if we have covered at least the change that we've been talking about in terms of the tone and the content. Did I miss anything there?
Nope. Smaller videos, actions, share it, do it, and we're moving forward.
I feel like you're on the cusp of giving me the just do it arm.
I'm getting close.
You're getting close. I think we might have to wrap with that. All right. Knowing that this is a transitional day, though, that we do still have a really substantial newsletter, we are going to cover a couple of the highlights, but we're going to do some of them quicker. So if you will click through the link that will drop in the video description and take a look at this with us, you'll see that this week there are 5 areas of focus for the newsletter.
Do you want me to share my screen with the newsletter?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. And we're going to go down to item number 3. And it says, get trained. We wanted to let you know that Planned Parenthood of Greater Texas is going to have an advocates training that they're going to run on March 11th and again on March 25th. PPGT is an organization that has a lot of experience rallying Texans around defending and protecting reproductive health. So we know that whatever they're going to provide is going to be super high quality. And if you haven't attended enough training already and you feel like this would be great for you, join in. There's a link there for you to RSVP and to donate and for more background information on some of the different challenges that they're anticipating for this legislative session. And then Alex, if you'll scroll down to number 5, you'll see that that heading says more training. And this training is being provided by Indivisible National, and it's about state advocacy. So slightly different. This is not an issues-based advocacy training. This is about, in particular, building effective campaigns for state legislative advocacy. So feel free to attend that one as well. It's coming up pretty quick. In fact, tomorrow, March 10th, that will be happening. So we've got a couple of training opportunities for you. Because we are in this part of the legislative session where we've got to put that training into practice, we want to get real practical. So in that newsletter, let's scroll to item number 2, which is to testify. Because of the Texas Power and Leadership blackout of February, the redistricting hearings that had been scheduled for the end of February were postponed, and now they have been rescheduled for March 11th, 12th, and 13th. Now, you've probably attended a lot of training at this point on redistricting and providing testimony, preparing testimony. Now is the time to put that into place. So for those of you who have your testimony prepared, there are links here in the newsletter for you to sign up and to submit written testimony as well. And we want to talk a little bit here, Alex. You know a lot about this one. Item number 1. We're going to spend a couple of minutes on this one as a one-off because we believe this is big. We know that our job is not just to educate and inform Texans and to do our part in that, but also to encourage every Texan, and that means you if you're watching this, to take action on the things that will matter most during this legislative session. So Alex, can you tell us a little bit about the call to action or CTA phone banks that are going to be happening every Tuesday at 1 p.m.?
Absolutely. So every Tuesday, 1 p.m., we are going to open up a Zoom meeting that you can register for. It's in our event, which I will highlight here in just a second. But it's an opportunity for Texans across the state to come together to take action. We're going to do kind of a phone bank style. Not everything will be a call. Some things will be putting things in writing. But it'll be an opportunity for all of us to come together to work through the CTAs that Indivisible Text Ledge has issued. And also, if you have any questions, you need some support, you need understanding around it, it's a space that you'll be able to get that information from our organizers. And that way you can take action. You can invite Texans across the state to join us. And we will be able to actually see each other taking action, which is something that we don't always get during the pandemic. And so I'm going to share our event screen here real quick so you can see that. It's join the call to action. We need Texans joining so that we can take action. Every Tuesday, it'll be at 1 p.m. This is this Tuesday's today at 1 p.m. for you to be able to join. And within the description, there's the Zoom registration link. And then we also link to our CTA tracker, which we are going to be posting and sharing a lot more with everybody. So if you want to check out our CTA tracker, join us in this Zoom web meeting so you can take a look, and then we'll be able to share that more publicly with everybody so you can take action throughout the week, not just during this call. But join this call if you want to learn more and you want to be able to take action and get some of that encouragement.
That's excellent. It's an opportunity for us to make sure that we are taking the time to do the things that we need to do. And if not once a week, or I should say, if not every day, at least do it once a week. And we can be in communion and fellowship with other people who believe what we do and are fighting for the same things that we are fighting for. That's awesome, Alex. Thank you for hosting that and for sharing that information. Now we are going to move on to the most direct and immediate call to action, which is in the newsletter, item number 4, and it's under the heading Keep Calling. Now, if you have taken a look at this newsletter, you'll notice that there's, of course, the paragraph that explains to us as the readers exactly what it is that we're going to be calling about in general terms. So we want to make sure that Governor Abbott knows that we do not believe that lifting the mask mandate is the right thing to do, given where we are as a state in the pandemic. Now, if you actually go down to the script itself, you can deconstruct this script to try to understand a little bit about the specific things that the script is asking us to talk about. So the first part of it, where it says, "Hi, I'm calling today to urge the governor to reverse his decision on rescinding the mask mandate effective March 10th. You can see that the first few sentences are different ways to phrase the demand. So when you read through it, if you kind of say the words out loud and you think to yourself, well, this isn't exactly how I would say it, feel free to put it in your own words. But that's the essence of what the first part of the script is. It's the ask or it's the demand that we have of the governor. And in this case, that is to reverse his decision to maintain the mask mandate statewide. The next part of it is in brackets, and it says, tell your story about how COVID has impacted your family, your job, or local businesses near you. Now, we believe that when it comes to the Texas legislature, telling your own personal story is one of the most effective ways to communicate meaning. And why not only is this important to you, but why should it be important to that official, their staff, their office? So you want to customize that story and maybe run through and write down a couple of bullet points about how you're going to talk about it. If push comes to shove and you really don't have the time to add the extra minute or two that it might take to tell the story, we completely understand that. And it will probably make your entire call land a little bit more emotionally with the person who is taking your call. The last part of it is, in this case, in this script, just a commentary really on how the governor has been quick to try to spread try to point the finger about the spread of COVID to immigrants. I don't think that this is necessarily covered in the background paragraph above, but I think that it is probably a good thing to add that we are noticing these things, we're noticing this behavior, and we don't like it. So that's what the last part of this script is about. And again, you can phrase that in a way that's more comfortable to you or expresses these sentiments in words that feel authentic to you. It's up to you. I would actually argue that many scripts that we have can be read word for word in a somewhat meaningful way. If all you do is you have 1 minute to make a call or 2 minutes to make a call. So, Alex, I thought that maybe we could do a little role play here or a little role model just to test out this script and kind of see how it feels, just how it sounds, maybe rolling off the tongue when it's read fairly word for word. Does that sound good to you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and be me as the caller, the Texan who wants to see the mask mandate upheld. And I'd love for you to be the person in Governor Abbott's office who is taking my call and taking my statement. So you're ready to go?
All right. Tell me when the
Okay.
ring happens.
Here we go. Ring, ring.
You've reached Governor Abbott's office. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling today to urge the governor to reverse his decision
Hold
on
on
rescinding the
one
mask
second.
mandate.
Let me transfer you to the right person.
Thank you so much.
Yes, how can I help you?
Hi, are you the right person to talk with about my comments on the governor lifting the mask mandate?
Yes, what's your name?
Great, Antoinette,
Okay. Antoinette, what's your zip code?
78704.
Okay, Antoinette, how can I help you?
I'm a Texan, and I'm calling today to urge the governor to reverse his decision on rescinding the mask mandate effective March 10th. We're already seeing reckless behavior in our communities based on his announcement, including mask-off parties at bars and in homes. The governor's actions and policies matter, and lives and livelihoods are in his hands. I urge him to reinstate the mask mandate so we can keep Texas businesses open safely and for the long haul. Taking off our masks now will surely lead to new infection rate spikes, potentially grinding our economy to a halt, and we cannot afford to stop wearing masks. At this point, I might tell a story. I'm going to go ahead and finish the script. I've also been disgusted by the governor's attempt to blame the spread of COVID on immigrants. Not only is that blatantly false, he's stoking racism in a time when hate crimes are already on the rise. Blood will be on his hands if he keeps up that rhetoric. Thank you.
Thank you for calling the governor's office. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Will you please be sure to pass my comments on to the governor?
Yes, thank you. Goodbye.
This, my friends, what Alex is doing is called acting.
Yeah, it's not a big stretch anything else of what I normally do. But just to give that example of, it's as simple as making a call. They may transfer you, they may not. And if that happens, no problem. You get transferred to the right person, as Antoinette just did. You then make your comment, you share your zip code information, your name, and then you make your statement and you move on to the next action. And it's about them hearing from us. And it's about them having to, we're using their staff to make sure that they are documenting what Texans are wanting the governor to know and to hear from. If we don't make those calls, if we don't write those letters, if we don't get engaged, then they get to hear from whoever they want to hear. And we want to make sure not only are they hearing from you as an individual, but it is overwhelming how many Texans they are hearing from.
100%. I think it's also worth knowing that people who support lifting the mask mandate are also calling. And we need to make sure that our disapproval of this is heard. We have to make the call. Have to.
Absolutely, because this goes on record. And so when people want to make requests and say, well, how many calls did you actually get on this? Or if the governor wants to try to put out those numbers beforehand, and he maybe wants to put it at a point where it's in his favor, a lot of organizations do requests for freedom of information, and so they want to get the information of how many Texans actually contacted, so that there's the true story behind that. And the only reason that they're going to have that accumulation that's going to show the majority of Texans that want the mask mandate is if we are actually making those calls. And
That's
so
right.
a lot of stories happen with key situations, not every situation, but key situations. And so we want to make sure that we are stacking the deck to let our representative and our elected officials know exactly what Texans are wanting to see happen in our state.
Awesome. 2 quick bonus tips on the script. Exactly for the reason that Alex role played, that we might not be talking to the correct person, I will almost always ask on the front end, I have a comment to make for the governor about this topic. Can you send me to the right person? Can you connect me to the right person? And that way, when the person answers the phone, I know that they are ready to take my comment. A bonus tip on the back end, if you have time and you want to do this, I think this is a great idea to do. At the end of that script, when Alex, the fake staffer, said, "Is there anything else I can do for you?" One thing that I might say is, "Can you read me back the notes that you took so that I know what you're going to pass on to the governor?" And this really puts them in a position of either simplifying down to, you say that you oppose rescinding the mask mandate, or if they've actually taken a few other notes. And I like to think of it too as sometimes that extra time on the phone is keeping them from causing more damage in other ways, right? So just a couple of little bonus tips. If you have some time to be able to add those in, they can really save a lot of time and frustration.
So as Antoinette shared, this is going to be an abbreviated video that you're going to start seeing potentially at a daily rate. And so the whole goal is for Texans to get to it, to start taking action, to go through the list of items, to go through our CTAs on our website, to join our CTA calls. So you're joining other Texans. We are in the midst of a major transition with the 87th legislative session. And the only way we can make an impact is if every Texan is taking action whenever they have a chance.
And that means you and 5 people you know that are probably not already making these calls. So as soon as you're done, send your script to 5 friends and ask them to make the same call you just made, right?
Well, thanks, Antoinette, for walking through these key elements of our newsletter. Looking forward to this transition that we start providing content for everybody and also doing that mock-up so people can see how easy it is to really deliver the script whenever you're talking to elected officials. And it takes under a minute most of the time. If it takes a couple of minutes, it's still not a major commitment, but it can do a lot if enough of us are doing it. We will be with y'all very shortly. Join us at 1 o'clock on the Zoom event so that we can get these actions done, and be on the lookout for these very frequent calls to action specific around key items within the legislative session.